First on our list as we grade these guys. I gave this class an A-, but man, you can convince me that it should be higher than that. The Philadelphia Eagles, the rich get richer. I don't know how this team is not going to go undefeated next year. They won the Super Bowl, of course. Jahad Campbell just stared them in the face at 31. They traded up one pick with the Kansas City Chiefs and took him there. I mean, that we talk about Howie Roseman not taking off-ball linebackers in the first round. That changed, and when you watch Jahad Campbell play, you understand why. Andrew Makuba got safety help in round 2 out of Clemson. Slightly undersized, like 185-ish, tested incredibly well, insanely smart, and he played well at Texas and Clemson before that. I love that pick. Smile money, they got another off-ball linebacker, insane athlete out of Georgia in round 5. And then I'll mention my guy Kyle McCord and the quarterback in round 6. And they had 4 6th-round picks, Rand. And the other 6th-rounder I'll mention here, Cameron Williams, the right tackle out of Texas, played opposite Kelvin Banks Jr. at Texas. Developmental, but high athlete guy. Maybe should have returned to school. He didn't. Now he's in one of the best offensive line rooms in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's Howie must be living right for all these things to always go in his favor. But to your point, one of my favorite guys in this class was Makuba. That guy just smacks people, and he has no regard for his body. He's undersized, and you wouldn't know it by the way he plays. I just love watching him play football, and he'll make an immediate impact for that team, whether it's on defense or on special teams.
We are now down to number 15th on our list. And again, that halfway means average. It doesn't in this case. These are A's for me until notified otherwise. The Washington Commanders, under new leadership and both GM and head coach, continue to crush it. Jaden Daniels last year, okay, layup, I get it. This year, pick 29, they get Josh Connerly Jr., the tackle out of Oregon, played left tackle in college. We'll see where he ends up in Washington, whether it's on the right side at right tackle or maybe even right guard while Sam Cosmi gets healthy from the ACL he suffered. Trey Amos in round 2, he had first-round talent. Jackson Dart told us that was the best SEC cornerback he had faced during his time at Ole Miss, and that stands out. He also stands out physically because he's exactly the opposite of what Emmanuel Forbes was, their former first-round pick for a few years ago. And I'll mention round 4, Jalen Lane, the wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. 5'10", slot guy, 4.34, and oh, by the way, he has return ability. A for me, Rand. What'd you think about number 15 on our list here?
Yeah, same for me. You know, I'm a big Josh Connerly fan, and I think he'll play right tackle early, especially considering they just traded and got Laramie Tunsil, who will be their left tackle. And we'll see if Connerly is the left tackle of the future, because I do think he has the ability to play left tackle. And one thing I want to say, because we've talked about some of these slot corners that we see as slot corners, you know, being drafted where they are. Slot corner is becoming a real premium position, you know, in this league. And so you're going to start to see these guys being taken in the 3rd, and depending on their ability, maybe some into the 2nd, because you play so much of sub defense. That's nickel, that's dime, that's penny, that's dollar, whatever the case may be. And so there's a premium on having these guys, because if you look at what these guys are making in the league now, I think the highest paid nickel is making $13 million a year. So you're going to start seeing these guys taken higher. And I'm drawing a blank on the name, but the running back that they took in the 7th round, like, that is going to be an absolute great pick for them. I know he was really, really coveted in the analytic community. I had one team reach out to me during the draft when, because I think they were targeting him as an undrafted free agent. And when the Commanders took him, I got a text from that team saying, "I can't believe your boy AP took my guy." You know, but so that's going to end up being a really good fit, because that guy, when you watch him run, I joke and I said, someone asked me what's my comp, and if you know who this is, it'll make sense. I said Ricky Baker. And so for those that don't know, Ricky Baker was a running back on USC in the movie Boys in the Hood. So if you want to look at something, go look at the highlight tape of Morris Chestnut's character, Ricky Baker, and that's how the running back that the Commanders took in the 7th round, that's how he runs. That guy was electric.
Did they actually show footage of Ricky Baker running in the movie? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah. In the scene when the recruiter from USC came over to the house, had the big floor model TV and the VHS, and he popped it in and showed. I still, to this day, I want to know who the real running back was that was actually running, you know, in those clips, because that guy looked like Reggie Bush out there.
Man, that's disrespectful to Morris Chestnut. Could have been him. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. is the running back you're talking about. 1 year at Arizona, but only played in one game. Prior to that, he was at University of New Mexico. He was at the Shrine Bowl, and a lot of folks were very interested in him. So low mileage, and then Adam Peters, who you mentioned, got him in the 7th round as opposed to having to fight with 31 other teams to get him as a PFA. So another win by Washington late in the draft. I'm glad you mentioned him because he has a chance to be really fun. At number 8 is a team that needed to get better at a lot of places, starting the quarterback position. That's the New York Giants, also an A for me. They traded back into the 1st round for Jackson Dart at 25. We'll see who Jackson Dart ends up being. I have no issue with trading back into the 1st round and not giving up a ton to get a quarterback that you like. Let's see how that plays out. At number 3, Abdul Carter layup. You don't have to know anything about football or even be from this planet to make that pick. So that you don't get credit for that, but that's the right pick. Darius Alexander in round 3 at pick 65. He is 25 years old. I love Darius Alexander. This feels like a steal because you're going to line him up next to Sexy Dexy. He balled out at Toledo. Then he went to the Senior Bowl and balled out against guys that are Power 4 guys and looked exactly to be the same player. And the name, let's start with this guy because you're running back. Cam Scadaboo, what type of impact is he going to have coming into New York with Tyrone Tracy in that backfield?
Oh, it'll be a nice 1-2 punch that you'll get started. You'll now have a banger. You'll have a banger for the latter part of the year when the weather starts to turn and you need those bigger bodies to lean on people, and you need to have a 4-minute offense to extend drives and to close out games, and he'll give you that body type. And because of his toughness and his wiring, you'll now have a guy that could also contribute on anywhere from 2 to all 4 of the key phases on special teams. So I like that pick for them there as well.
All right, what about the Jackson Dart move? You okay with coming up for 25 for a guy that most people, myself included, had graded as a 2nd rounder?
Yeah, and I get it because they have to walk away with the quarterback, right? That New York market would not have allowed them to not walk away with a quarterback at some point, and especially with other teams being positioned to come take a guy that obviously they coveted Jackson Dart, and so they had to put themselves in position to get it. But I want to go back to the Abdul Carter one real quick. And I'm just thinking about my man Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator. Like, he has an embarrassment of riches at this point. And I'm sure, like, Shane is like a kid in the candy store now on the amount of creative packages he can come up with to get all 3 of these talented edge rushers on the field at the same time.
And by the way, those group of guys that you're talking about is going to make life easier for any quarterback, whether it's Russ, Jameis, or the rookie Jackson, should he get on the field. And that's sometimes a good place to start. All right, number 7 on our list here. And look, Jerry Jones catches a lot of flack for some of the things he does or does not do. Shout out to that organization for this draft because they got Tyler Booker at pick 12, starter, day 1, guard out of Alabama. Donovan Ezeraku at pick 44. A lot of first-round buzz about him. 248-ish is what he played at, and he got better against the run as the season went on for BC, but he is absolutely electric as a pass rusher. You talked earlier about Suvone Revel, the cornerback out of ECU, tore his ACL early last fall. Might have been a first-rounder had he been completely healthy, lasted until pick 76. And then they got your other guy, running back Jaden Blue Carthon out of Texas, who is an absolute burner, and he provides a little fire and ice, as we like to say, in that backfield for Dallas.
And again, like we talked about this on HQ the other night, like, I don't think the draft has ever been an issue for Dallas. I think it's just been about being able to retain these guys and then make moves outside of the guys that they already have. And so I think that's what's been the issue. But again, another home run draft, for Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Will McClay, and those guys are really working well together. And again, you have 3 guys in Tyler Booker, Donovan Ezeraku, and Suvone Revel, who are all first-round talents, and you're able to get those guys with your first 3 picks in those first 3 rounds. Like, that's crushing it. So this would have been an A+ for me. And then, like you said, to go get Jaden Blue, the explosive third down change of pace guy that does not allow the first man to bring him down, I put him down as my king of bip, because he can bip and make you move and make you miss. And so this was an A+ for me. And for me, I probably would have had this within my top 5 or top 3.
Fair enough. And when Tyler Booker said after he was drafted that his job is to take the soul from the person he's blocking and make them not want to play football anymore, if that was the only pick they made and then just traded all the other picks, that still probably should have been an A+. That's how good Tyler Booker feels like he's going to be. He is so good.